restarted this clip multiple times. I haven't talked on this channel. If you're new here, which you probably are because this is a new channel. Hi, I am an aspiring author working on my first novel. I'm almost done with my first draft. It is a second chance love story, also like a slow burn love story with a teensy bit of spice. Not a whole lot, just a teensy bit. This is my first novel that I'm writing, but I've been writing in some form or another for honestly as long as I can remember. This story did not like start out as like, oh, I'm gonna write a novel. Like, I didn't sit down thinking, let's start a novel. I had in my head the idea for this story and thought, I'm just gonna write this down. This sounds like a fun little idea. I could do something with it in some way, maybe write like a short story or something like that. I sat down to write like what I thought could be like a prologue to the story. And then I wrote 8 chapters. I have cats. So at that point I was like, oh, okay, so this is gonna be more than a short story, because I had written 8 chapters, but I was not very far into the story. So at that point I knew it was gonna be way more than I was thinking. Right now I am at, I think, 35 chapters. I'm almost done with my first draft, which will be, I think, 41 chapters is what I have outlined. But what I have learned is I'm what you call a pantser. Although I did like a general outline of the story, I'm very much someone who's just like, follow where the characters, where the story takes me. So a lot of things changed as I went on. Now that I'm towards the end, I don't think anything else is going to change. But even writing like the last few chapters, things change. So maybe they will. Who knows? So far, a lot of things have changed. So I'm very much someone who just is like, wherever the story takes me, I will follow. But I did do a general outline, and I did know what my starting point was going to be, what the climax of the story was going to be, and what the ending was going to be. So I knew those 3 things. It was just what was going to be in between. I was very open to how that could change and evolve and things like that, which I very much like how it's gone now. There are ways that it's been set up so where there could even be a sequel now, which is fun because I didn't have it set up that way in my outline. So I'm kind of excited about that. I have read that once you finish your first draft, you should kind of set it aside for a little bit before you do some self-edits. So I'm planning to set it aside, which kind of works out because I have this other idea for a story that I want to work on, and I've been really like itching to work on. Then I'll come back to it and do some self-edits. But I'm very excited. I'm almost done with the first draft. I'm finally writing some of the scenes that I had in my head as what I knew was going to be part of the story from the very beginning. So I'm very excited about that. I'm finally getting to write those. If you want to follow along on this journey of me writing my first book, and hopefully in the very far future, most likely, if it ever gets published, it would be way down the road, because I only would go towards the traditional route of publishing. I know self-publishing is great for some people, but I don't think it's the route for me. I give all the credit and like big props to people who do that because I know it takes a lot of work. So if you're interested, I'm basically going into this as a very new person to this entire process. So feel free to follow along. Give me any advice that you have because I would love that. If you're a writer, please let me know. I would love to follow along on your journey of writing and trying to publish your books if that's the route that you're going down. I'm gonna go drink some coffee and write some more.